Hello, this is The Whole Truth, brought to you by the Greenville County Democratic Party. From local city councils and school boards to the South Carolina legislature and the nation, we provide a clear-eyed view of the whole truth surrounding the decisions, the policies, and the politics that have a direct impact on your family, your neighbors, and you. The off-year 2025 elections are now behind us with some fantastic outcomes that we anticipate are indicative of what's to come. Now, of course, the next big target is the midterm 26 elections. One of the key midterm races for the state of South Carolina is for the State Superintendent of Education. This position is critical if we are ever to dig ourselves out of the educational mess that this state has been in for decades, and which has just gotten much worse with the grossly underqualified Republican recently elected. Stacey Mars had the fun job of interviewing a spectacular Democratic candidate for this role, whose career has been perfectly aligned with the superintendent role, and who has already been campaigning for this seat for quite a while, Ms. Sylvia Wright. Here is their discussion.
Hi, guys. Welcome to The Whole Truth. We have one of my favorite people here today, and I probably shouldn't say that, but it's already been said, so we'll rock with it. But I'd like to welcome Miss Sylvia Wright, who is running for Superintendent of Education against Ellen Weaver, of all people, who has a master's, but we won't go there. Sylvia is from North Charleston, is that right?
That is correct.
So Gullah Geechee area. She doesn't have a thick accent. You wouldn't know it unless you go to her website and read it. It took me a while, but welcome to the show, Sylvia.
Thank you. Welcome. I feel very welcome, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Good. Glad. So I'm glad. So I just talked about your website just a second ago, because I went and took a look, and there were a couple things that I thought were really cool about it. One, you have a tab where people can go and tell their stories and voice their concerns. I've worked on a number of campaigns. I've never seen that before. Now I always see the donate button, always, and volunteer, but I've never seen one where people can actually go and tell their story. What made you decide to do that?
I wanted to hear what is happening all over our state. And, I'm only one person. So as much as I try to reach everyone, I know that's not possible. Mm-hmm. So by providing people with a space to tell their story, I can find out what's happening around the state. And that way we can start having those conversations on how to fix it. Because we don't know what's happening unless we're told.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. So effective and efficient. She can't be everywhere all at once, so you guys can come to her. But speaking of telling stories, let's talk about you and how you've worked at a lot of levels in the education system, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when I looked at your website, it said you started as a 6th grade language arts teacher at Maywood Middle.
That is correct.
Right? Okay. Yes. And you've taught at several different schools. You've been a student counselor?
School coordinator.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw the AVID. Is it AVID?
Oh, AVID. Yes.
Co-coordinator, but I saw somewhere where you said student counselor, but maybe.
So what student council. Yeah. I was,
Okay.
I sponsored the student council.
Gotcha. Okay. What's an AVID coordinator?
So the AVID program is sort of like a leadership / instructional support for students. And the way we used it, the model we used at our school, or the school I was at, was students who were C students were placed in GT classes, and AVID was used to support them.
What's a GT class?
Gifted and talented.
Okay.
Because usually it's your AB students who are, in these gifted and talented programs. But a way to support those students who have the potential, but their grades don't reflect it, mm-hmm. They were put in the gifted and talented class, and then they took an AVID class, which I helped support them with their reading, writing, collaboration, organization, and inquiry. So like questioning, just training them to be critical thinkers.
Sure.
And leadership. There's a leadership component to it.
Right.
But
so basically, as students whose grades aren't showing that they're gifted and talented, but you see that they're gifted and talented, and it's pulling those gifts and talents out.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
I never thought of it like that. That is exactly right.
Okay. Okay. I was just making sure that that's what I was hearing. So, okay, good.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of schools need, because we always focus on the students who are in the AP classes and who are doing the honors classes, and they're already on that track for college. But what about those kids who aren't, who maybe just need that little push, right? So it's good to know that you were doing that, and that we have teachers out there that do it, because we don't want no child left behind, right?
That's right.
So on top of doing all of that, you have your bachelor's degree, 3 masters.
That is correct.
And you're working on a doctorate.
That is correct.
Oh my God. I feel dumb.
No. No.
So
I have my specialist as well. So after your master's,
just add to it. Yeah, just add to it. So yeah.
The only reason why I'm highlighting that is because that's where I trained at the Citadel to be a superintendent.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
Okay. So speaking of, now that we've kind of tell us about that journey, right? And at what point you decided that you wanted to transition from the classroom, because I know that can be hard. They're your babies.
Yes.
To running for office and public service.
Okay. So I started out, like I said, classroom teacher, and I never anticipated leaving the classroom because I love teaching in the classroom. Like you said, they were like my own children, and I love seeing them grow. But I started moving up in leadership. And to back up, I'm a military wife, so I've traveled and taught in different states, different school settings. But, as I started moving up in, the system, I became a department leader. And it was a different view from, being the classroom teacher.
Sure.
And so after department leader, I became a school coordinator. And I noticed that, because in the classroom, you're isolated. You are in control of what's happening. Mm-hmm. But as you move out of your classroom, you realize that not everybody thinks the way you think, or not everybody is looking out for the children the way that you would look out and advocate for the children. So I realized there was a leadership problem in the system. And it's not one particular area. We have leadership problems within the system, up and down.
Right.
So that's when I was like, I need to go into educational leadership and make a difference. Be that leader that our kids need. Be that advocate that our kids need. And so that's when I applied to go to the Citadel and in their program. So they had a partnership with Charleston County Schools, and they would pay for your master's degree in educational leadership to be an administrator.
Wow. And
I remember applying for this. First of all, I wasn't even looking for it, but I found it. And so I applied for it because usually I guess people tell you about it, and nobody told me I found it. So I applied, had my interview. I received a letter or email, "You're not accepted into the program." And I was like, okay, all right. Because I went through a whole interview process. But there was someone on that board, that interview board, who saw something in me, Dr. Lee Westbury. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "You might not have been accepted through Charleston County, but you can still, be a part of the program."
Sure.
The only thing is, I wouldn't get the perks that the people who went through Charleston County got.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So if it weren't for her, I would have never continued on the track to becoming, like a school administrator.
Right.
And I will never forget that. And I tell her that every time I see her. But I received my master's of education in educational leadership. And I continued on at the Citadel and received my specialist because, the Citadel kind of pushed that, that leadership. Yeah. They have an awesome leadership program. I would advise anyone to, if they're into leadership, the Citadel's like the best school that I've been to as far as leadership. So received that training to become a superintendent. And to be honest with you, I only wanted to use that degree to be in the district office, like work in the district office, be like an AVID coordinator, like a district AVID coordinator, because I love AVID so much. Yeah. But my grandson was born 3 years ago. And when he turned 1, I started thinking, I need to find a school for him, that's going to elevate his level of learning. Because, as an educator and everything, my grandson, he can say his colors, knows numbers. You know what I'm saying? We've created that foundation.
I've seen pictures on social media where he's reading a book.
Yeah. Right. So I want him to go to a school that will elevate that. And so that's when I started looking at, different school settings. And I just felt a conviction. Like, I'm looking out for my grandson, but what about the other kids who need that advocate at a higher level?
Sure.
Because that's what I'm all about, advocating for children. Because every child deserves the best.
Right.
They deserve access to the best. So that's when I was like, that's when the superintendent position popped into my mind, because I never thought about that. Because as a teacher, that's up there. You got to be specially qualified or something like that, was my thought process.
Ellen Weaver.
I know.
You hear that?
And see, I think that too, the fact that she was elected kind of put a hole into my thought process.
Right.
So that's when I started researching the position, what it actually entailed, because I'm the type of person, I want to know what I'm getting into. Sure. And so did the research, and I'm like, this is what I already do as a leader. Right. Because I've worked on every level, it's all about systems.
Like, literally. Y'all check out our website.
So that's how I got started on this path to becoming the next state superintendent.
Very, very, okay. Wow. And it's nice to have somebody who is so passionate about our students. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you and like your eyes light up when you're talking about kids. Like, it is clear that if when you win,
yes,
that that you're going to get us back on the right track, because we're 40 something in education right now,
43rd, and we've been in the bottom 10 for the past 2 decades.
Oh, and on top of that, I just read an article where we've lost in the upstate, I think between Spartanburg, Greenville, and Anderson, over 1,000 teachers left schools this year. Wow. So now we already have a shortage of teachers, and it's just gotten worse. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so we need somebody that's going to turn that around. Mm-hmm. But you've been traveling, like you said, the state for months. And you said, of course, you can't hear everybody's concerns, but what are the concerns that you've heard from people about the education system in South Carolina?
So there's so much. The big things that stick out to me, number one, the parents are being left out. And
in what way? That's interesting.
Yes.
In what way?
So parents are being locked out of school board meetings. Not invited into school. Yes. Oh. They're being disrespected. So I know a county personally that when parents were speaking, the school board members didn't even acknowledge the parents that were talking. Oh. And the parents felt so disrespected. Yeah. I also was at a meeting, or a school board meeting, where they closed an entire elementary school without consulting the parents, without consulting the elementary. What? J.K. Gordine in Berkeley County. Mm-hmm. I was there at that meeting where they basically put it in a budget proviso that, the school was going to close, and didn't tell them. The parents, the teachers, nobody knew, but last minute.
They didn't even tell the teachers?
They didn't even tell the teachers. The teachers received the email.
This is terrible.
Right. They received the email. And so then the community came out in droves. Sure. And basically the district told them that we've already made this decision. There's nothing you can do about it. Yes. Wow. Yes. So just things like that. How the district's treating the parents, how they're treating the teachers. Sure. There needs to be a culture of collaboration restored. Yeah. Because I think with that push, with that Moms for Liberty and this whole destruction of dismantling of public education, that's all a part of it. So if you break the lines of communication, the collaboration, it's chaos.
It's easier to,
yeah. It's chaotic. Right. And so that's part of my vision, to restore that culture of collaboration between all levels. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest things that stick out. The other part of that is how the teachers are treated, the working environment for teachers. And we see that with the SC exit survey. Yeah. That's what they talk about. That's the top reasons.
How the teachers are treated by the school, or the school and the parents.
All of it.
Like all of it.
The parents, how the parents treat them, how the lack of support from administration. the workload. They have so much responsibility, but there's no one there to support them with that responsibility.
Sure.
So, and on top of that, the disrespect is out of control. I was speaking to one of my friends who is a longtime teacher, and she was telling me how this is the worst year that she's had to deal with discipline or the student behavior.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, because she is an experienced teacher, and she just like me, loves kids,
right?
Loves math, loves her, loves her job. And so for her to say that, I feel sorry for new teachers.
Right.
So.
And they're not staying in the profession long.
That's
the
right.
New teachers aren't.
That's right. They're not.
Right.
It's a different.
They're leaving after a year or two.
That's right.
So,
I think the biggest issue is we are still operating on this traditional model of, sit and get, like classroom row, that picture you see in like older movies.
Sure.
Of like this ideal image of a classroom. We've got to change that. Our the new generation has been exposed to all this technology at their fingertips. Right. Before it was like the teacher would tell you and you had to believe what that teacher said because there was no internet. There was no Google.
They can like fact check this.
Right. There's no Google. So
yeah, we had the encyclopedia.
Exactly. And then if you were able to afford the encyclopedia,
right.
That's right. The encyclopedia was our Google.
Exactly. It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was there in the classroom. There was always a show. If it wasn't there, it was in the library.
That's right. That's right.
Like you actually had to research.
That's right. So it was easier just to,
Right.
But we're in a different time now. We have got to provide students the opportunity to take control of their own learning. Mm-hmm. And because they come with the knowledge that's on a higher level because of their access.
So what does that look like for you? We know that they have the technology and all of that now. So instead of the traditional model, like you were just saying, what does and I know you can't go into detail or anything like that, but what does that kind of look like for you?
Project-based learning.
Okay.
That is the biggest way to or the best way, I should say, to explain the vision that I have for changing this traditional model. So we talk about STEM and STEAM schools, and people think, or one thing I want to clarify is when I talk about school choice, I'm not talking about private schools and charter schools. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about programs within our public schools.
So like magnet school type?
Like magnet school, okay. Yes. And then, you have your traditional schools that are, I want to change those to STEM and STEAM schools. So if you don't get into a magnet or a performing arts, your school will still be a school that will elevate your level of learning. Another program, arts integration, language immersion, have these different programs, different tracks in their middle school and our high school. So that way it's not just one way, because kids don't just learn one way.
That's true.
But it's going to take, like I said, the collaboration to be innovative and creative, because we have the technology. We have the funding if we use it intentionally.
Ellen Weaver.
Right. So that's just part of my vision.
Okay.
So to answer your question, instead of just a one track, we need multiple opportunities.
Absolutely.
And programs and true choices.
True choices.
For our children. And
right.
Choices, not private school, charter school. I'm talking about program choices.
Right.
That, go with what their interests are. Mm-hmm. So if a kid wants to be an aviator or a pilot, they're in that program to be a pilot, and they have access to those programs.
That would be kind of cool.
Yes. I actually met a kid who was, going to different classes. He'd go to the airfield on the weekends. Oh. I know, but it's like, these are programs that not everybody knows about.
Yes.
So that's another thing. I want to make sure everyone knows about programs.
It's just really weird that they don't, because the way you have so many different ways to get information out now, it feels like we're not taking advantage of that. Right. So,
but I think the issue that I have, because I've had this conversation with someone who offers programs, is if they tell everyone, they don't have enough capacity.
Gotcha.
So that's why they keep it quiet, or they only tell certain people. But see, when you only tell certain people, that's where you get into the inequity.
Right. Exactly.
So why don't we just create more programs?
Exactly.
We have the funding.
Right.
So instead of keeping it quiet and excluding people, we need to be more inclusive and be more intentional about how we,
exactly,
expand our programs.
I'm with you on that one. No, I mean, it's just because even going back to the whole STEM and STEAM thing, right? Like, you see where there's not as much of an emphasis on the arts like there used to be, right?
Right.
And I'm an artsy girl, so it really hurt my heart.
Yes.
You know, I mean, nothing against STEM, don't get me wrong, but the arts are necessary.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I would love to see that emphasis come back.
Yeah. I'm very excited because I've seen kids thrive. Like, you might not think they are paying attention in class because they don't know. Right. They know, they're just not interested. Right. I've seen a kid light up in an art class, and his work is amazing.
Right.
Because we express ourselves in different ways.
Right.
So that's why this one traditional track is not working for our children.
Exactly.
We've got to tap into their strengths.
Right.
And there's so many programs, there's so much technology that we have access to now that we don't have to operate in a one-track mode.
Right. Exactly. I'm excited. I'm excited. So I'm gonna just go back to your website for a minute because I spent a lot of time on it. Like, it's a very thorough website, much like Sylvia herself. Right? And you have like 4 priorities, right? You students, teachers, schools, and districts, right? So can you talk about each of those and like the main points, really, for each of those, and why they're important to you and how they, I guess, interlock and come together?
Very cool, because that's what I was going to start with. Because we all have to work together for us to elevate public education in South Carolina. Because right now we're siloed. You have whatever happens at school, that's what's at school. Whatever happens at home, that's what's at home. Whatever happens in the community, that's in the community. But no, those silos are what's preventing that's the hurdle for us. So by focusing on each area, so like with students, the whole child approach. One of the biggest things with the whole child approach is getting the community involved, those community resources. How can we support kids who are homeless? There are community resources out there, but they need to know about it. Their parents need to know about it.
Right.
If their parent is struggling to find a job, that affects the child, that affects the classroom. So how can programs like Communities in Schools, for example, work with the parent and the community businesses to find employment for the parent?
Sure.
If they're homeless. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what affects the child at home is going to affect them in school.
Right.
So we have to address those issues, whatever they are, and work together. As far as teachers go, we need our teachers. Students can't effectively learn without a certified teacher and a well-trained teacher. And I say well-trained because I'm a lifelong learner too. I'm not saying like even though I've been in education for over 20 years.
You actually have qualifications as well. Let's be real.
Right.
Like, I mean, isn't there something where they started letting people teach without the certification or something like that? Like, be so for real.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You've never spent time in a classroom.
Right.
You talk about lesson plans. Do you even know how to do a lesson plan?
Right.
Like, it's just that kind of stuff that I'm like, you know what? You may not know everything, but at least you have some qualifications here. Okay.
Yes. And to talk about that for a second with the lack of qualifications, I think one of the biggest misconceptions, well, first of all, there are people in office who have no idea about the education system and what it entails.
Ooh, say that again. Say that louder.
And I bring that up because that's why they think teaching is easy. And so you have people who, for example, might have a math degree, and now they don't have any type of educational background, and you're going to put them in a classroom. Any teacher knows that kids will. You can have all the knowledge in the world, right? But if those kids don't respect you,
good luck getting that knowledge.
Exactly. Good luck. So that's the biggest misconception. People think teaching is easy, but it's not. You are right. And although I've never taught in a school, like I did Sunday school and that kind of thing, like with the kids, and kids are brutal. Yes. They will tell, you will know very, very quickly when they are not interested. Yes. Yes. And when you don't have their respect or attention. Like, so I would encourage some of these people who think teaching in class is easy, go sit in a classroom. Yep. You'll see how. To that.
you will see it is not easy.
Yeah.
And thank you, teachers.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't be me.
Yes.
It couldn't be me.
And we have to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Because teachers are being demonized.
Right.
And that's part of the reason, too, why they're leaving. They're not appreciated.
Right.
But they are so valuable. And
say that again.
So that's the other thing, too, that after I win, just highlighting the positivity, the great things about being a teacher and being an educator. So that way teachers can feel respected on top of, continue to raise the pay, and improve working environments.
Right.
Because part of the reason why the working environments are the way they are is because there's been no oversight. There's been no accountability at the top. And I'm not saying I'm going to go be like this hovering person. Exactly.
Right.
But I'll be present. Right. People will know who I am. People will see me, and and I want them to feel comfortable coming to me saying, hey, this is happening, and getting it right.
They'll know who you are for all the right reasons.
Exactly.
Unlike Ellen Weaver. Unlike Ellen.
Exactly. And I'll actually have conversations with teachers because I hear she doesn't like to have conversations. And I personally know this because she came and delivered a check to our school district. And we were all on the side. She was speaking right across the way from us. She didn't even come over and talk to us.
No way. Yep. Then thank you for
nothing.
Oh my gosh.
So I saw it with my own eyes. I heard about that, but I saw it with my own eyes.
She's got to go.
Yeah.
She's got to go. And you're going to make it happen.
Yes.
You're going to make it happen. So earlier you talked about school vouchers and the book bans. And So let's talk about that for a little bit, because from what I've read about the school vouchers, and correct me if I'm wrong, the money is not being spent properly and it's not being tracked.
Right.
Either.
That's right.
Okay. So what's your take on all of this?
That's the problem, the lack of accountability and transparency. Then you have your waste. And so here we are wasting taxpayers' money, taking money from public education where we need it the most, where we can, have that technology, have more programs, pay teachers more, pay them for their time, like professional development. There's so many more things we can do to improve public education. But here we have this money being shifted to the voucher program, and people can spend it however they want with no transparency. I remember reading an article that there were people who received this money who weren't even qualified.
They didn't spend it on like the school. They were gonna.
Well, there's no way of checking.
We don't know.
Yeah. There's no way of checking it. Yeah.
Point prove
right. That's right. And so they talk about wasteful spending. There is nothing more wasteful than sending that public money to the private school or to vouchers without transparency or accountability.
Right. Exactly. Like I'm floored that for a party that talks about accountability of fiscal responsibility, that they somehow always manage to get it wrong.
Right.
And this is just one of the ways in which they've done that, right? Yep. And so hopefully when you're in office, you're going to fix this. And so I guess that question begs, right? Like, you get in the office. Is this something that the superintendent can be like, we're not doing that anymore? Or does it have to go back to the state house?
I think it depends on what it is. Like, as far as the private schools, or not private schools, but the vouchers, since that happened in the legislative session, then that would be like a conversation.
Have to go back to them. Right.
Okay. So I know the budget proviso too, that it's slid in, can be taken out. So that's another way we can combat.
Sure.
But one of the things that I will advocate for, depending on how, the House and Senate, how it's going to look, is more more accountability. Okay. But that's one of the things I can advocate for. And also my initiatives, like once that budget comes, prioritize where that money goes. So that's what that's the power that I have. Yeah. Yes.
I like it. You're already thinking of stuff.
Yes.
This is great. This is great. So it's been fine. But before we end, I want to do a lightning round of questions.
Okay.
Like, you just quick, short answers. What the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay.
It's only like 6.
Oh, goodness.
So, it's okay. I promise. What's your favorite subject to teach?
English.
Favorite historical figure?
Ooh, that's another one. Zora Neale Hurston.
Okay. Favorite or country you want to travel to?
France or Europe.
France. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite country that you have traveled to?
The Philippines.
Oh, okay. Favorite teacher when you were growing up?
I have so many. Miss Nimhart, though, comes to mind first.
Okay, Miss Nimhart. Favorite place to visit in South Carolina?
Greenville.
Yes, right answer. Right answer. Thank you. Great. Sylvia, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for making time for us. Before we leave, tell people how they can support you and how they can follow you.
Thank you. So please go to my website, write2026sc.com. You can sign up to volunteer, which I need volunteers. Donate. I need donations no matter the amount. Don't think it's too little. Everything helps the campaign. Spread the word. Text 5 or 10 people. Just text them my website and tell them to check it out. Talk to friends, family, neighbors. That's how you can help me spread the word. Also, I'm on all the social media platforms. Friend me, like me. When you see my post, repost. That also helps me. And then your vote. I need your vote to become the next state superintendent of education.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. See you next time.
Thank you.
The Greenville County Democratic Party appreciates your time listening and watching. Please get actively involved and join us at future events. You can find out about them at multiple locations, including the GCDP website, greenvilledemocrats.com, and browse the events calendar. Or you can keep up with us on social media platforms shown here. You can usually find us by @GVLDem. Thanks again for listening. Let's get out there and do what we can to rebuild our government into one that serves us all. Thanks.